Help me reach 500 subscribers. I found out my wife was cheating on me on a morning that looked exactly like every other morning we had shared for years. Nothing dramatic. No shouting. No phone buzzing in the middle of the night. Just a quiet realization that settled into my chest and refused to move. She was standing by the kitchen counter, scrolling through her phone, smiling in a way I hadn't seen directed at me in a long time. It wasn't happiness. It was secrecy. That smile didn't belong in a marriage. That was the moment I knew something was wrong, even though I didn't yet have proof, only instinct and the slow burn of certainty. For weeks after that, I said nothing. I watched instead. I paid attention to the pauses in her answers, the sudden need for privacy, the way her schedule developed gaps she couldn't explain. She started caring about details she used to ignore, like her appearance when she was supposedly just running errands. I didn't confront her because I already understood something important. If I spoke too early, I'd only hear lies. Silence was my advantage and I held onto it carefully. The proof came sooner than I expected. One afternoon, I came home early and saw a message flash across her phone screen while it sat charging on the counter. I didn't grab it. I didn't need to. The name wasn't saved, but the message said enough. It referenced the pool. Our pool. It mentioned how much he enjoyed swimming there, how peaceful it felt, how he couldn't wait to come back when I was out again. That sentence didn't hurt the way you'd expect. It didn't break me. It clarified everything. My marriage wasn't ending in chaos. It was ending in precision. I learned everything I needed to know after that. Her lover wasn't mysterious or intimidating. He wasn't stronger, richer, or smarter than me. He was comfortable. Too comfortable. He treated my home like a resort, my marriage like an inconvenience, and my absence like an invitation. And the pool was his favorite part. She talked about it constantly when she thought I wasn't listening. How relaxed he felt there. How it reminded him of vacations. How it made him forget stress. Listening to her talk about another man finding peace in something I built with my own hands was the final shift. Any lingering sadness drained out of me. What remained was focus. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't change my routine. I didn't even stop being polite. If anything, I became easier to live with. I let her believe she was safe, that she was clever, that I was distracted. I watched her confidence grow and with it, his. He came over more often. He stayed longer. He swam whenever he wanted, splashing around like the place belonged to him. I'd sit inside sometimes, pretending to work, listening to the water move, imagining how unaware he was of what patience can do when it's sharpened by betrayal. The thing about people who enjoy comfort is that they never imagine consequences. They assume every environment exists to serve them. He never asked questions. He never wondered why I suddenly took such an interest in maintaining the pool myself. He didn't question why I stopped hiring help and insisted on handling everything personally. To him, it looked like responsibility. To me, it was preparation. Every test I ran, every adjustment I made had a purpose. Nothing extreme. Nothing illegal. Just enough to change the experience without changing appearances. I remember the day it happened clearly. The sun was bright, the water calm, and my wife was inside, pretending to nap. He arrived confidently, greeting me like we were acquaintances instead of enemies. He didn't know what he was. He smiled, dropped his things, and went straight for the pool like it was calling him. I watched him ease into the water, expecting relaxation, expecting pleasure, expecting another stolen afternoon of comfort. What he didn't expect was resistance. The water didn't feel the way it always had. His strokes slowed. His confidence faded into confusion. I didn't rush. I didn't panic. I observed. He got out faster than usual, unsettled, asking if something was wrong with the pool. I shrugged and said it had just been serviced. That answer bothered him more than anger would have. Discomfort always does. He tried again later, only for a shorter time, then avoided the pool entirely. His favorite place had stopped welcoming him. He left earlier that day, distracted, uneasy, stripped of the arrogance he'd brought with him. I saw it in his posture. The pool had rejected him and he didn't understand why. That was only the beginning. Over the next few weeks he came less often. When he did, he avoided the water completely. My wife noticed. She grew frustrated, snapping at small things, sensing that something was slipping without knowing how to stop it. She never suspected me. She assumed he was losing interest. And in a way he was. Comfort had been his motivation, and once it disappeared, so did his enthusiasm. People like him don't fight for inconvenience. They retreat. The irony is that I never confronted either of them during that time. I didn't need to. The power had shifted quietly. He no longer felt welcome. She no longer felt secure. And I felt something I hadn't felt since the betrayal began. Control. Not revenge. Control. There's a difference. Revenge screams. Control whispers. And whispers last longer. By the time she finally asked me if something felt off lately, I was already living several steps ahead of her question. She thought the danger was discovery. She was wrong. Discovery would have been easy. What she didn't realize was that consequences don't always arrive loudly. Sometimes they arrive disguised as discomfort, as distance, as the slow collapse of an illusion you thought would protect you. And all of it began with a pool, a man who liked to swim, and the patience to let comfort turn into regret without ever raising my voice.